Okay, so let's begin then. So, what we are going to do today is that now that the first retreat is completed, we look at the lessons learned and what has worked and how they should practice after leaving from here and how this would help in future. So the first thing I need to know is in that sutta, Nibbedika Sutta, what we were supposed to cover was on karma, dukkha, like that. Okay. So instead of going through the sutta, I will explain through the practical experience what these people have had that makes more sense. That's what I'm thinking. So let's first analyze the dukkha. What is dukkha? Okay. Dukkha in English translates as suffering, but it is much more to suffering. It's actually burden. You're burdening yourself to do something, to establish, which is existence, power. Actually, every living being wants to establish. So, if it has to establish, it has to pull the other being, or it has to convince the other being either to stay with it or separate from it, whichever way it works. Okay, that's what nature law is. So, let's say, like in this house, we have 8 people. Yesterday, one went away, 7. So now today they're happy that the space is one space is got back. The room is small. Today 3 people are going off, so that leaves 4 people. And today 5 people are going off. Only that leaves with 3 people. So basically, what Vrinda and Ananya can do is from the top floor, which is literally like a boiler's house, they can come down and stay in this bedroom, which they got it on day 1 when they landed. But they were young, so I pushed them up. Not that it is a bad home, but the problem is that it has to be adjusted. So we have to adjust. Now this adjustment is dukkha. Actually is compromise. So basically, every human being or every being ultimately has to compromise. If you want to live together, that means to say, if this house is only for me, no need to compromise. Provided food, shelter, food and everything comes automatically. If I have to go and bring food, that means I have to work. If I have to work, I have to adjust. If I want to adjust, I have to compromise. There's no other way. If not, I have to be aggressive. That's another way. If I am aggressive, I don't care about the other person. I need it. So I want it. The need turns into want turns into need. So it keeps on going. Okay. Now, when I don't get it, I feel terribly upset. So I need it at any cost. So what happens? I start quarreling because there is insecurity. So there is no way I can get what I want without being upset. The moment I'm upset, and that's the end of it. So continuously I keep on fighting for my rights. So then I'll say I'm fighting for my rights. This is the problem of existential drama. Okay. So the burden is all about not knowing what's the true nature. So what you have been pushed is the nature, meaning from the beginning, you're born to a particular family and the situations, conditions, whatever is appearing, that you feel is real. But you don't know, or none of us know, there's something which is unconditioned. It doesn't require any conditions to be. And there, you don't have to aspire anything. This is aspiration. So let's look at this roadmap. The roadmap here is first one, to aspire, you need to know where you are. So to create a symbol, which is sanya. Otherwise, how can you now say that where you are? You have to create one symbol. So you create a symbol, and 99.99% you'll create a symbol which will give you dissatisfaction. Because you see somebody having something which you don't have, or you want it, obviously. And that symbolization is abhicca. So now I created abhicca. Icha is to like, abhicca is higher liking. That means whatever is my present state, whatever I've got, I require something better than this. I deserve better. And you ask anyone, they all will sing the same song. I deserve better. But you get what you deserve. That's the problem. It's not you get what you want, you get what you deserve. So if you have accumulated, or if I have accumulated akusala, then I will deserve what is to be given at that point in time. The situation, in my case, will be unique to the other person's situation because that person has not done akusala. So that situation is totally different between, looks different for two people. Situation is same. Example, I am due for promotion, so my manager says apply, and another person also applies, right? So I feel my manager is biased because I see him or her mingling with the other person more than me. So instead of doing my work, I'm more concerned about what these two people are up to. So that brings in Pisunamacha. I need to talk this out with someone. So I take out somebody for a tea or coffee, and then I say that, have you seen these two people? They're very biased. Then how do you find bias? There are various ways to find bias. Is your language is different, their language is different, first bias. Second bias, religion. Third bias, belief systems. Fourth bias, traditions. Fifth bias, nationality. Sixth bias, aspiration. Seventh bias, the most best of all, politics. So other than these seven, you can't find anything worth as bias. And of that, politics stands out because now you have to have something to compare and say that is good in that person's eyes. So I will have to do something to spoil their relationship. That's what I need to do. So exactly do that. Because without that, my manager will not allow me to get promoted. And I deserve. And it's shameful that for the last few years, I've not got promoted. While others are getting promoted, I am not getting promoted. It's I who should get promotion first. Abhicca. It immediately brings in do manasa. which is part of vyapada. So mental state, if I take the akusala, abhijja vyapad is going to be there. So it's not about just practicing satipatthana in some cushion. It's about seeing where is abhijja and where is vyapad. It does not about kaye kayanupassi viharati atapi sampajano satima vinaya loke abhijja domanasam. That's exactly what he's saying there. But reciting is not going to do anything at all. And with a nice piece of cushion in a secluded environment and sitting in one corner and doing it does not lead anywhere, because it should be done practically when the condition arises. So if I create a condition over a condition, it is now double condition. The first condition is how I've been nurtured. The second condition is the new condition which is created as at a retreat. Because these problems will not be there. So I definitely don't know how to take care of this word, abhijja domanasam. And he says, vinaya loke. Vinaya means discipline. Loka is the six senses. So how do you do it? It looks like a prescription as opposed to what you're supposed to do. So when I'm in the office, that's the right place to do this. When I'm with my family, it's the right place to do it. When I'm with whoever, it's the right place to do it, rather than the cushion business. So I throw out the cushion out of the door and I get into business of applying Buddha Dhamma. So what I do, I watch the mind. Now, what do I watch the mind? What is that I need to watch? Is akusala. The reason for akusala, not the akusala itself. Unless I understand the reason for akusala, there is no way I can address akusala. Simple as that. I might be reciting Panati Pata, Adinna Dana, Abramacharya, Musavada, Pisunavacha, Parusavacha, Sampapalapa. Maybe if there was an exam, I would have passed in flying colors. Maybe I get a double PhD with 4 gold medals in Buddhism. Maybe another one due from some other country, Buddhist country, would give me that such a knowledgeable person, Mahapandita, let's say. But actually, I don't have any idea about it. I've written some 10,000 books on Buddha's teaching. Doesn't make any sense. I can burn all of them because it makes no sense. I have not even applied even one. Forget 10,000 books. Coming back to this, is that I need to know, why am I doing this? Why akusala in the first place? Akusala is because of his existential need. That's the problem. Not that I should kill myself, but existential need makes it to do 10 immoral deeds. Power creates this problem. So what I'm supposed to do is to cut the bhava. That's exactly what I need to do. So I'll keep the bhava for now. I have become. So this place is a become place. This is the same house where I have had my schooling, college, marriage, etc., etc. Same home, the same house. So that's become. I become, right? And I'm given a particular room. Okay, that's the truth. I need to use what has been given. Can't use anything beyond what has been given, because you get what you deserve, not what you wish for. So I sit and understand Buddha Dhamma, that at this point in time, I'm getting what I'm deserving. But there's a way out of this situation, is that I need to increase ayu. Then the dukkha will go. What does that mean? Out of three variables, Ayu, Usma, Vijnana, Ayu is the lifespan. But I can't cut the lifespan as a human. I have to allow for it natural cessation to happen. So I need to have a good Ayu, not 100 years. That doesn't make sense. And not in this body. That also doesn't make sense. Why? Let's look at this situation. If it is hot, you require an air conditioner. If it is cold, what will you do? Heater. So that means you have to now support two things in your home, heater and cooler. Nothing that you can do, right? You get what you deserve. Somebody will feel cold, even in hot temperature. They don't require a fan or a cooler or air conditioner. But somebody in a cold temperature also feels hot. Now that can't be changed. Maybe my boss, I can do something, I can quit the company, etc. But what about this nature, this body nature? Can I do anything about it? So now I do kaya gata sati. I understand this body to its entirety. And then I see where the dukkha arises, where the burden arises. This whole body is a burden, not one, the whole body. Why? It requires maintenance. And hence it's a burden. Now I understand dukkha. It's not about relationship, what I have with my wife or my husband or children or whatever that is. It's about the dukkha of maintaining something which doesn't even belong to me. I think it belongs to me. So I need to look back 16 years. Now we are in April. So another 2 weeks down the line, my father died in the same place where I am sitting, exactly opposite where Vijayaji is sitting here down, exactly slightly towards left, he died. And today Vijayaji is sitting exactly at a place where my father used to sit. Okay. Now it is Vijaya here. Some years ago, 16 years ago, in April, on 24th of April, that person at this point in time was having tea exactly the same place where Vijayaji is sitting. Right, 24th, and is gone on 4th of May. Okay, 6 days here to 30th and 4 days there. So 10 days down the line, we had a death. So what do I see? The being which was called as my father has left, but the body is there. If I call that body as my father, that means I'm cheated, because that's a food body and it starts to get corrupted, decayed, and it smells, stinks. The stench is so much you can't even tolerate it. And that is asubha. Basically, I see whomever I see is just asubha. The inside person is gone. Only the cover remains, which is dirty. So now I need to see what happened to my father. He was burdened by this body. So he left the body and he went. Sooner or later, Vijayaji, who is sitting here, will have the same fate. And so with everyone. So I need to see the burden. This is the burden, dukkha. It's not whether I will die or not. No, it is same with everyone. Even if I kill a mosquito, the mosquito flies off, leaving its body. The being which was called as mosquito is gone. Now, what I have in my hand is just Patavi Apo Tejo Vayu in Akasa. That's all. I don't see a mosquito there. I name it as mosquito Sanya, bear, but there is no mosquito there. Now it might become a human being. I don't know. Speak up. So I became part of this family. And my father now, if he is born as a human, he is a 16-year-old boy or a girl. Let's assume he is a boy because he is my father. So he's 16-year-old writing his board exam, or he has passed his board exam and he's now hunting for a college. That's all what's happened. If he is born in India, so born elsewhere, I don't know what happened. Because again, he'll be in some school. Basically, with a different eye than the eye which was burnt, different ear than the ear which was burnt, different nose, different tongue, different body. And the mind of that person no longer continues. Because he will be now, if he's born in a Christian family, let's say he was born in Cuba by name Andrew. So he believes he's Andrew. And that's it. That's the end of the story. He doesn't know that he was sitting here or doing something and he had two children and he was an Indian, etc. Gone. So I see this. And I see this everywhere. All. So what do? I find a way to get rid of suffering. So the first step I need to take is to move out of this existence right now. Because if I don't work out, the mind will focus on this existence because it has not seen any other existence. Example, if I am attached to my wife, either positively or negatively, that means I keep fighting with my wife or she fights me. Unfortunately, I'm in India. The divorces are very delicate here. That means that female can put a case against me that I physically assaulted her. And from 2013, the rules or the what I can say, the law changed in favor of women, putting the man into much danger because you can cut your whatever, you can take a blade and scratch yourself and then put a thing on the husband saying that he did it. So the advantage of that current law in India is without going into investigation, they can put the father-in-law, mother-in-law, husband into police station and then the investigation starts. He'll get a bail, that's a separate issue. But presently, if my wife chose to cut her whatever, and she can put a case, even though knowing this poor guy has not done anything. So I can't divorce, basically. So if I can't divorce, I can't stay with her also. But I'm supposed to stay with her. And I can't divorce. Now what do? Can I commit suicide? I think that's the most nearest thing I can do. I need to commit, I should have committed suicide then the day I got interested in that woman, which I didn't do for whatever reason. And I should have left Indian soil or some other country so that I can leave her there, like a dog left somewhere or a tiger left somewhere. But this is going to follow me. I can't do that either. So what is the thing? Suffering. Enjoy. And Indian government allows you to enjoy suffering till you die. So once you are caught up with this, there's no other way. They just keep on smiling. But inside they're boiling. So once the people go out of their house, they keep quarreling. Somebody ting tong and everybody is good. Come, come, please come. So Indians are known to be hypocrites. They talk one thing and do another thing because they have been taught like that. That hypocrisy is the best way of staying. Anyway, knowing this, what I should do, I should first make a solemn promise. I should never be born in India because I can't go out, but then I can't be born here. So I should work out not to be born in a populous country, because once you're in a populous country, all the 10 immoral deeds automatically gets transferred to you. Simple as that. Because you are in competition. When you are in competition, you have to compare. Abhijja Vyapada is part of competition. So obviously, you will do that. So no matter you don't want to be bad, the environment pushes you to be bad. Let's say you want to get your work done and you have to bribe. And in India, you can't kill a mosquito without bribing the mosquito. So you first bribe the mosquito or the mosquito killer. You first give money to that mosquito killer who will also bribe some other person to kill this mosquito, and to show the proof that he has killed the mosquito, again you have to pay him. No, that's what you need to do in this country. You chose to be in this country. So enjoy, have fun. Now that I've understood the dukkha of existence in India, I should look at how to escape in future, not now. Now it's nothing. You're landed in a jail. Now for the future you can do something. And hence I leave abhijja vyapada michhaditti. These three things. Because these were the curses which I carried and it landed me here. Because now you're so populous that every square kilometer you'll find some 40,000 mosquitoes swarming around you, called as humans. So if you want to get to something, you are in line and you don't know when this line is going to break, but you have to stand in a line. So corruption begins because you have to pay to get service done. Okay. So this is the problem. So when Samriddhi and her family were here, I'll give you a story, nice story, how this thing happened. They wanted to go to Mysore. So they went to Mysore. On the way, they went to a place called Chamundi Hills. And generally during our school time or when we were young, the Chamundi Hills, if you go, nobody is there. But over a period of time, people would like to go to Chamundi Hills. And especially after Sadhguru wrote his book, saying that he got enlightened there and then he remembered his past life, three past life, where he wanted to do that, what is that, Adi Yogi project. So people started thriving to that place. So they kept a entry fee of 100 rupees to begin with. And somebody, this husband asked, if I pay 100 rupees, what's the number of hours? And the person's, whatever, who was the security guy, well, they said, sir, if you stay here, 100 rupees, it'll take you 9 hours, 8, 9 hours. Then he asked, is there any other queue which is easy peasy? So then he said, yes, there is. There's 1,000 rupee queue. Takes 15 minutes. But it's a VVIP queue. Then Samriddhi husband said, let the daughter and Samriddhi go. I will stand outside. For me, I'm not that interested in seeing that thing. But these two people had bought all the puja items. So how can they now throw the puja items? So they as well pay 1,000 rupees into 2,000 rupees and they entered the shrine. Obviously, when you pay premium, the priest will also show you premium. So he showed all the things, he explained all the place, and then 20 minutes they were out. Now you see this farm. Is bribing good, bad? Does it lead to bondage or liberation? Bondage. Does it add dukkha or sukha? Dukkha. Why do you want to go there? Because I want to see. That's greed. Aren't you deluded? Yes. Because that's the cause of your suffering. Delusion. If you are out of delusion, you don't have to go there. How? Now, whether you pay 1,000 or 10,000 or whatever it is, that place when you go will erase away in few moments' time. Every step you're taking, you're erasing the previous step, right? Anicca. One step you took, the previous step is gone. The next step you took, the previous step is gone. Like that, I have covered 54 years of steps. The first step I kept, you remember, as a baby, that was my baby step. Now, like that, I have kept for 54 years, erasing out the previous years completely. That's anicca. Now, holding on to this view that I kept the first step is the dukkha, because now I'm burdened by that. I kept the first step and I went to the first school, I went here, I went there, I have a wife, I have this, that. All of this unnecessary things is what causes the dukkha, it's burden. So the Buddha asked this question, why does the burden come to be? Is we're craving. In the same sutta, if you look at it, the nidana is craving. Am I not craving to have a baby step? And I proudly say I started walking at 6 months or 3 months, let's say, or 2 months, or to exaggerate. Bobby, exaggerate. I say 1 month. And there are two MBBS doctors here, or other there's a gynecologist, three of them, and they look at me and say that nobody can walk in 1 month. But I say I can walk. Maybe they believe because I'm an enlightened being, maybe like the Buddha story is Vilas story, maybe you would have walked, who knows. Can happen, right? This world is having peculiar people, maybe another peculiar person, so can't say anything. Maybe we have to ask his mother, who's dead anyway. So we can't ask his mother. We can ask his wife. Maybe she is very truthful and she would say that even I heard, so even I don't believe, but I know what can happen. So it can happen. Then one day, while my mom was sleeping, in the case of Buddha, elephant came. In the case of mine, a tiger came. Okay? And the tiger showed that one boy is going to be born. And that boy will start walking in 1 month time. And she was shocked. And as said by the tiger, I started walking. Now, where is your mother? No, she went to heaven. How did you send? No, I did a puja and she directly went to heaven. For DTH, direct to heaven. Okay. She was supposed to go to hell. DTH was also hell. But I did something to send her to heaven. It's me who sent her to heaven. That's meant I've taken that burden also of sending a being from hell to heaven. I can do all of this. That's what is dukkha. So I do all of these 10 immoral deeds for existential reasons. Okay. And I continue doing it without knowing the consequence. Now I become a smart person. Looking that the ayu itself is so small as human. Why don't I stop? this immoral deed so that my ayu can be extended. The first dukkha is ayu. I need to work on that. Okay? So while living here in human life, can I mentally experience extension of life? Can I? Is there a possibility? Is there something where I know for myself that something is long lasting than whatever I'm having? So I approach the Buddha through his Dhamma to find out what I need to do. And he exactly states, be in samatha. So I practice samatha. It calms down the senses and the mind. You got the point. Eyes are seeing outside, it stops. Ears are hearing outside, it stops. Nose is smelling outside, stops. Like that. Samatha. And the fuel for going out is breath. So if I start working on the 10 immoral deeds, the breath watching becomes seamless, not effort driven. Because dukkha is effort driven, please. That's the reason we can't do it. We've been putting too much effort in life. We just have to put effort in removing the obstacles rather than creating more obstacles. So I start working on that. I turn itself into kusala. That's all I need to do. Not akusala. Kusala. Always kusala, kusala, kusala. Need to practice kusala. Situation might be anything, it doesn't matter. I'm fighting with my wife, kusala. No, she's horrible, kusala. I want to thrash her, kusala. My neighbor is bad, kusala. Whatever comes, kusala. Simple. Now, what kusala should I do when I see my wife? She's horrible. Metta. Like I don't like my mother-in-law. In fact, she was supposed to stay with her son. But she stays with me. But I don't want her. I have no problem with anyone. But except my mother-in-law. Just like when I went to the police station, my neighbor who had dogs said that he's fine with everything except for my friend, whom he doesn't like. So the whole quarrel, dispute, fights, blood bath, everything happened on 19th of April 2026. Just because somebody doesn't like someone. Okay. And he is doing akusala. And I am the caretaker of that apartment. So I was called by the police. So I spent my 20th morning and evening in police station. I've never spent my entire life in a police station than on 20th of April. And the only time I had spent a little bit of time in a police station when my father had taken me to police station because I could not secure first rank in my first grade exam. I think I was 6-year-old and he wanted me to stay in the police station. So I never knew what it is, and that constable or the officer, he threatened me because my father said, you do that to him, otherwise he'll go mad. So he threatened me that I will hit you with the stick, and he showed the stick and he showed me the how the jail would be, and he pulled me there, and the fear of getting into the jail made me piss in my shorts. And that stayed. Okay. And now I went to the police station. I didn't feel anything. I was enjoying this being there. It didn't bring back my old memories that I was here in the police station doing. I mean, I got second rank, but my father wanted me to get first rank. It was shameful for him that he has to call himself a father of this person. So he told me very clearly, if you have come second rank, you're not my son. So let's go to the police station. And then, fortunately, I was not locked up. I don't know if he had made me locked up also for a day. Let's see what happens to you. Anyway, but this time when I went, it didn't, because the dukkha is not there. If I connect these two, it brings back the same memories which was there as a 6-year-old. Right? Now I start hatredness towards my father. Obviously, why would I have anything called compassion? No. Now here is a change. If he is burning, why should I burn along with him? Let's say somebody has put on fire on himself. Will you also hug him and make sure that you are also in fire? Or would you stay far away from him, maybe put a jacket which will not burn you? And that jacket is metta. So don't hate anyone. Even though they are your parents or in-laws or whatever, don't hate, because nothing might happen to them, but you are burning in their place, which makes no sense. So I do that. If I do that, at that moment, I've extended my life, because there's no vyapada. It's not about reciting aham avero homi, abhyapajo homi, like that. It's leading the life like that. So that person informed the police inspector after everything happened, and he said that he does meditation courses and I couldn't do it. And the police inspector said that I want to join. I said, you're always welcome. And then this friend of mine, meaning on whom this case is, he said that his beats per minute doesn't cross 47, 49. And he asked, is it? Let me see. And I showed him the watch. Are you what you gifted? I showed him that, look, this is it comes from 41 to 47, 48, not goes beyond that. Whereas that pilot, he says 100. So he's a stressed out person. And he's so angry with himself. Oh, now if he lets go of his anger, what would happen? He'll not burn. If he doesn't burn, his life increases. Not now, the next life. Because now he can be in Brahma Vihara. If you keep on staying in Brahma Vihara, the body's breaking up, the being lands up in Brahma Vihara. So it's better all of us land up there, because there not many people go. Here, many people come, because this is a transitory point. One train goes up, which is once in a while the train comes. But for lower existence, every 5 minutes there is a break. And the tickets are plenty. If you want to stand in a line for going up, it takes time. But if you stand in a line for going down, you will be welcomed with garlands. Actually, and they'll give you free tickets. They'll welcome you, or rather, they'll welcome me, because it's pretty easy. Water falling down is easier, or water going up is easier. Just to decide. Gravitation pull is towards down or towards up. So you have to go up. That means you have to put tremendous force, virya, to go up. You don't have to do anything to go down. By its own nature, it will go down. So I have to decide the burden, should I have to remove it or just hold the burden? Fine, absolutely fair. In fact, there will be people who can give me more and more burden because they're also burdened. They're equally burdened. So they just want to put the burden on you. Let's say my friend, he will curse me and I curse him. So he has given his burden on me, which I can't hold it. So now I have my own burden and his burden and two burdens, like husband and wife. They both were not there. So there was no husband and no wife. They didn't have any burden. Husband had his burden, wife has his burden. Now they both stay together. Now there is double burden because there is expectation. There's expectation. Every moment there's an expectation, just like being an employer and employee. Employer is having an expectation on the employee, and employee has an expectation on the employer. So you think the burden is not there. It is. If I don't match my manager's expectation, I lose job, or I might not even get promoted, or there's no salary hike, or whatever it is. So I'm all the time burdened, dukkha, and it is created. There's no thing called as promotion as much as there's no thing called as an employer. You're just going there to collect food. Basically, all of us are doing is to collect food, shelter, clothing, medicine. What else will you do with that money? You tell me. Yes, you should get money. And not that you shouldn't. You should. But then that's all what you're supposed to be doing anyway. So why don't I do it in a more practical way without burdening myself? And that's the time I am in metta. So today was a metta day. I thought I spent some good amount of time on this metta and come out of dukkha, because the next section I was supposed to be going on this sutta, Nibedika Sutta, is kamma, but I skipped it and moved to dukkha. And then I'll come back to kamma later because that is even more deeper. So I thought, let me first address dukkha, because we all are in dukkha. We are not in sukha. But what you should be in sukha. So can you or me leave out the differences and be in Brahma Vihara maximum amount of time? That means in a day, if a day is defined as 18 hours, because 6 hours you don't live, because the you is not there in 6 hours. So it comes to 18 hours. So in that 18 hours, can I be in joy, which is second jhana? Can I be in abhasara, skipping Brahmaloka also? So can I do that? If I can do it, I have created sukha, that is happiness. It's not about what tradition I follow, that's dukkha. It's not about which cushion I need to sit on, that's dukkha. It's not about which monastery should I go and sit, that's again dukkha. It's not about should I reside in India or overseas, that's also dukkha. It's dukkha only everywhere because it's burden. You're burdened by something or the other. The only way you can come out of burden is to drop the burden, whatever you're carrying. So why don't I do that? Now the question comes how? Now here is how. Number one, samatha. I stayed in samatha by removing 10 immoral deeds. Second step, is there a way I can give up something? Tyaga, viraga, tyaga, whatever. So can I drop something out of this equation? I need to drop something to take something. My hands are full. I can't take another one. So I have to let go of something. And I see this family life is temporary. It's not real also. Then I observe there is no real husband. I'm married and hence an husband. I'm married, hence a wife. This is the burden. I'm carrying a husband who doesn't even exist. I'm carrying a wife who doesn't even exist. Why don't I just drop it? And the moment I drop it, this hand is free. And so much of pain of holding on to this something which never even exists. Oh, what a relief. In its place, can I take something? Now the hand is free. Can I take something? Yes. What? If I do this tyaga, then I can come into Indriya Samvara, because this hand will start to picking something else, and I don't want it to pick anything. It is so conditioned to pick something. I don't want it to pick. I want it to pick what I want it to pick rather than it picks whatever it wants to pick. No. And I will tell it, pick this, it picks it. Doesn't pick, don't pick, doesn't pick. I'll make the mind agree to what I say rather than I agreeing to the mind what it says. So I become the witness of this mind. Because mind is an instrument, it's not a person. Whatever I teach, it does. So then left. Now that space, I put Indriya Samvara. The moment I start doing Indriya Samvara, guarding the sense doors of sight, sound, taste, touch, smell, something extraordinary happens. What happens? The mind is calm. It doesn't go anywhere. It waits for command. Just like a dog who is very violent. Recently, it was put under a trainer. And there are a lot of dog videos on YouTube. You can go and find the ferocious dogs, how they train them to become very humble dogs. Okay? So consider your mind as a dog, which is ferocious. If it sees another person, it starts biting. Can be father-in-law or mother-in-law or father, mother, brother, sister. It doesn't matter. It just barks at it. But he doesn't know. Then comes a trainer called Buddha. And he injects some sense into this dog. And this dog is freed of that habitual pattern. Okay. Now this dog becomes faithful. It's really faithful. It doesn't do anything. Because if you've seen dogs, dogs are very good to their master, actually. So, since it is really ferocious or really bad to others, now this Buddha trains through Indriya Samvara to make this dog let go of its habitual tendencies. So what happens? In the midst of storm, the mind is calm. Right? So then the third step is to be in jhana. Because that's samatha with Indriya Samvara. Then jhana. So what is the mind wanting? Joy. So what should I give? Joy. So where I should recite? Second jhana. And there's a sutta for that, Tunni Bhava. Just search for it and you will be surprised to see it's not closing your mouth, it's closing your vitakka vichara. That's joy. Piti. So basically, that's what I need to do. Guard the sense doors, enter into jhana. Even if I'm in first jhana, it is good because that removes the load. Okay. And then come to the second jhana. The sukha is in the third jhana, which is subhankina. That's the best place to stay, actually. The more you are viharati, then is staying. It's not about closing eyes, please. Staying there, viharati. Atapi, sampajano, satima. Be on sati. See that you are in third jhana. Vineya loke abhijja domanasan. So you are not in any abhijja and domanas. Because they can't reside when you are joyous. They can only reside when you are either in competition or in comparison with another living being, because you want to exist and you don't want the other person to exist. So you take the fire, even though that person is existing, you take it. That means you're taken his problem also as your problem. So now you're double burdened than a single burden. Nothing might happen to that person, or that person is habituated. It keeps on creating problems for you. But every problem that person creates, you start to think, or I start to think, it's for me. Purposefully, they are doing it to me. So I even more burn. So when I keep burning, viharati, where? Where am I staying? I'm staying in low realm. So the fire increases. Eventually, I will land up in the same place after this life. So no matter whatever the circumstances, I need to be in metta, not forgetting that if this mind, which is like a monkey or a dog or whatever, if it copies this tendency, only that will come at death. My goodness or whatever might not even come. That makes me land in that unfortunate existence. So I'm in double trouble. First trouble, the situation. The second trouble, my own association with that. So it's better for me to apply metta, not only on that person, forget that person. I have to apply it on me, because this mind is going and torturing itself. He did it, she did it, he did it, she did it, and keeps on working out schemes on how to make that person fall down. What happens? I don't own his or her karma. So no matter what I think should happen to him or her, it might not even happen. Just like if he curses or she curses, it might not, nothing might happen to me, because he can't dictate my karma. It's my karma is my karma. If I've done good karma, nothing that person shouts is just like a dog shouting on the street. Just because it is shouting at you on the street, you're going to get bitten by the dog? No. Or should you shout back? If it shouts, wow, 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 you say 10 times that, and then you are literally, or I have literally landed up in a dog realm. So it does 10 times, I do 20 times. And it does 20 times, now I do 40 times. And that's what the disputes are. One person creates an animalistic tendency and starts to show you like this, and then I get. So now there are two animals instead of one. One animal was better, Tirachayoni. Why should also I become Tirachayoni? For what? Because when somebody is anger, is shouting, you can see his eyes, ears, nose, tongue, or whatever the body is becoming like an animal. Why I should do that? In fact, I should be compassionate to that being because it has gone lower realm. Actually, so why I should fight with it? I don't understand. I just sit silent. What do I do? It is instigating me to come to its realm. I can't pull it up. So the only way is metta. Just put metta, not on that person, on you, because the instigation is coming from there. If I'm not in metta, it just pulls me down. And now we are equal partners. You say one, he or she says another. I say one, he or she says another. Then after a while, I start showing my teeth, just like the dog. And then now I'm threatened. It's like a dog is threatened or any other animal is threatened. What do we do? What does that do? It bites because so much of energy is coming out. The only way it can relieve its energy is by biting. And what does a human do? He will slap because there's so much of energy has come out. What should happen? Slap. And that the same energy is coming on the other side. Hey, that person slaps. Now they hold their, then they, then the blood comes. Then they kick. Then they do all kind of nonsense. In the end, there's so much of energy generated that somebody can take a stone and hit on the head or do something which otherwise they wouldn't have done. Otherwise, take a gun, shoot. That's called gun crimes. Why? Because so much of anger is energy. Actually, it's energy. There's nothing else. There's no anger there. It's just energy. You can't handle it. What happens? It goes out of proportion. So, what do I do? Take a hand and hit. But if that person is stronger than mine, he will twist my hand and I'm wriggling in pain and he'll kick everywhere. And I want to kick him, by which time I'm lying unconscious. If the consciousness were to depart, the vijnana, where would it go? Lands up in Tirachayoni. Who created it? I. If the dog was barking as human, what should I have done? Just stand silent. Consider every person shouting at you as a mad dog. You don't have to become mad just because the dog is asking you to become mad. Bobby has a dog, Maya. It can become mad. Will Bobby become Maya? If it is true, then there's no difference between Bobby and Maya. In his case, he calls Maya. And it's really Maya because it is magician. It made Bobby become Maya. And Bobby will say, and the dog will say, ah. So then the both are doing that. And Marin appears. She finds no difference between Maya and Bobby. Bobby is now a transformed Maya. And she also joins. So there are three Mayas, one as human and two as animals. In an instant, the mind can get into this existence. What they should do? Metta. So when somebody challenges you, don't challenge them back. If they are going down, don't take the drain down, because you have many trains going down. Only once in a while you get a train which goes up. Don't lose the opportunity going up. Okay, that's it for today. Any questions on metta? If somebody does something to you, you know what next to be done. Be it a son or a daughter or your upcoming daughter-in-law or whatever. And don't keep too much of hopes on your daughter-in-law right now, because you will first puff her up so much, and later if she punctures you, and then the scene changes. There is no mother-in-law, daughter-in-law who stay together. That much you should know. It has never happened. It will never happen in the future or now. If you think it is true that they both stay together, then they can't be mother-in-law or daughter-in-law. Only Dhamma can save them from this misery. As long as you think you're going to be mother-in-law, now you're puffing. You're thinking that, my daughter-in-law is already in Dhamma, she's interested. It's far from truth. The day you get into problems, you will then know it. Not that it happened that way. If it really works out well, I would wish it, but don't have too much of hopes. And the same with the pop-in-law, son-in-law. Does not work that way. In fact, the daughter-in-law and the father-in-law are very close than the son itself. That's the equation, correct? And the mother-in-law says that father-in-law says, no, you have not understood the daughter-in-law. She's so nice. You don't know, we have brought a gem. Gem. When I was a child, I used to eat a thing called gems, which is M&M in US. So I used to eat gems. Which gem did you bring? See? You say anything to me, I accept. But don't say anything to my daughter-in-law. The father-in-law, daughter-in-law combination, son-in-law, mother-in-law combination works the best. Right? And the son-in-law is always good in the mother-in-law's eyes, more better than the mother itself. Okay? Now that's a panda, because it's always male female. Daughter, daughter and father, son and mother. It's opposite sex. Same way, father-in-law, daughter-in-law. What a combination. The day they get married, wow. It would look whether the son got married or this father-in-law got married. I don't know. It makes it so different. And father-in-law was not doing anything of cleaning or doing this. Suddenly he starts doing, and the daughter-in-law jumps in. Papa, Papa, you don't have to do. I am here to do. Mother-in-law is shocked. Wow. What? Can't believe my eyes. And the papa and this, what a pair. And for everything, Papa. Papa, shall I do this? As though she's so close to Papa. Her idea is, if she's close to Papa, she can eliminate his mother-in-law. Simple. Anyway, if it is not like that, it is good. But if it is, yes, it's a law itself. It doesn't, you go and see some 100 families, they'll come to see, basically. Anyway, but when the grandchildren come, it's even more funnier. The father-in-law who, or the father who did not change the diaper of his son, now is so inquisitive to change the diaper, take him for a walk and doing all of that. I don't know why. He could have done for his son. And his grandson is far better than his own son. He doesn't understand that it is a son's son, not his son. It's weird. So the son gets upset. Son feels these parents are spoiling my children because the grandchildren listen to the grandparents and not the parents. And what do we do? The father and the mother, the son and the daughter in law are unhappy with these people. But the grandchildren are very happy with them. So there is quarrels and disputes and cursing. But you can't curse your own father, so you do it in the bedroom. And outside you show, Papa, how are you? All good. Everything is good. Inside he's burning. And father is also doing the same thing. But when daughter-in-law comes, things changes. Like my father used to do. When my brother got married, got love. Wow. Two eyes were insufficient, so I had two more. This with glasses. I then start feeling that these four are insufficient. I should take another four more. It was so nice to see what a coordination. Wow. And my mother was feeling let down. When did my father started doing so many tasks at home? Anyway, that's the story. So the only way you can escape this kind of watching is not being in this existence itself. This existence has this limitation. Clear? Is that a movie has some limitation. You are wanting to make it technicolor. You can do 4K, 8K, but the story remains the same. It would be in vivid color. That's it. So you better don't exist in this existence, because this is a painful, chocolate driven, pleasurable existence. Meaning, inside is a pain. There's in fact a sutta for that. It's sweet. Buddha asked, what do you like, sweet or sour? There's one sutta for that. So it seems sweet. Always pleasure seems calmer, looks sweeter, but inside it is bitter. A real bitter one is always better than the sweet bitter one. All relationship looks sweet to begin with, turns sour or bitter later. All relationship. A fool is one who makes relationships and suffers because that has bitterness. Far away, it's all good. Bring it near. Can't stand. Otherwise, we won't have any courts at all to settle. Why do we have family court? If family was such a nice thing to happen, why do you first have a court of family? Has anybody asked themselves, why do I require a family court? Why the hell should I register a marriage? As though the son is going to run away or daughter-in-law is going to run away, because you don't have faith that they both go stay together. If some problem happens, you have court. Now, they are also idiots who will solve your problem because they have the same problem. If their marriage also gets into trouble, they have to go to the same court, but not the same judge, maybe some other judge, and then go with the same kind of agenda. That means to begin with itself, you don't have trust. There is no trust. Does an employer has a trust on employee? Never. So you have a contract. Does an employee has a trust on employer? Never. So you require a contract. And that contractual document is called as appointment letter, which gives you all the terms and conditions. And you put forth your terms and conditions. That is job description. So you are going to contest based upon the job description, and that person is going to contest on the delivery. In the same way, husband and wife relationship, they go good till they listen each other. If too much of conflict, then fun starts. That means from the beginning, there was no trust. So you will never have trust unless you come to Dhamma, which is the only trustworthy thing. Everything else falls short. Okay, with that I will end. Otherwise, this will go until for next 1 hour, maybe. But the basic was dukkha. I think you've understood dukkha. I guess so. If you don't leave your burden, I don't know what else will you want to carry. Please carry. Rituji, when you are here next month, you should know that you are here to leave the burden, not carry the burden. Any questions? Otherwise, I think there shouldn't be any questions on burden. All good? Should we end? Wow, today is the first day. No speaking at all. Everybody's microphone is switched off. Good. Metta day. So our metta day ends. So I'm wearing this meta glasses on a metta day. Okay. All right. Bye. Good day and good night and good afternoon.
Thank you,
Bye.
sir.